Hey guys.
Huh?
Nothing. Hey guys, so today we're going to do, there's a video that a lot of astrology YouTubers are doing where it's most to least favorite zodiac signs, and that's cool, but I don't like or dislike signs specifically because I feel like when you read charts and then you begin to do it for a living, like you can see that things are a lot more complex than just one sign or like one placement. So to discriminate solely against that would be kind of weird or just doesn't personally make sense to me, but like not to knock anyone that does that. They're really funny to watch. I just personally don't do that. So I'm gonna do a little differently doing it a little differently today, and I will do a pro and a con of each sign. Why are they barking? Aries. Okay. Should I do cons first and then pros? I feel like maybe, yeah. Okay. Aries negative trait. They are extremely involved, so it's like when they've decided something or they've made up their mind about something, it's extremely hard to get them to see anything other than what they want to see because they're so set on anything other than what they want to see because they're so set on, they are so focused on their own emotions or their own logic that if you're trying to get your point across and they've decided that they only care about what they have to say, they just won't let you speak ever. And I guess just their overall sense of needing to assert themselves in every situation or overly express what they think or how they feel about something, when sometimes like they need to not do that. And then an Aries pro is that they are extremely successful in everything that they do because they are so motivated and they are so lively that they can inspire everyone else to jump on the bandwagon with them, and they can really like amp up a crowd. I feel like one of the best jobs for Aries dominant people would be someone where they're just having to get everyone really energetic and excited about something because that's like I feel like it comes so naturally for them. And then a Taurus con. Taurus con, okay, so you are extremely do as I say, not as I do. So everything is kind of like there's like this double-edged sword of being judgmental but then harshly like assessing a situation or not like thinking that someone should do something and being judgmental about it, but then like if you were to do it there's like a reason why it's okay somehow. It's like saying like, oh, like people who wear shorts are weird, and then you wear shorts but you're like, oh, but it's okay if I do it because I know that I don't look weird. Like I don't have a good example. I'm not good at this, but yeah, so it's just very do as I say, not as I do, and it can be frustrating because you put a lot of like restrictions or judgment on people for doing certain things, but then if like you do it, it's kind of, it loses more of the impact of your words because of that, so you should really focus on not doing that. And then Taurus pro. Taurus pro is extremely, so I know like we say Aries is passionate, but Taurus is extremely passionate, and I think it's really cool when they get riled up about something or they want to like debate or talk about something because like you can see how excited they get to express themselves, and they always have such a strong take on something that it knocks you back and it makes you really want to just listen to what they're saying and what they have to offer. And I really like that about them. I feel like they would be great lawyers because they use reason in a way that also like is attached to how they feel about something without making it messy. You know what I mean? Like they can talk about something and it's not going to be messy. It's not going to be super emotional or dramatic. It's just going to be logical, but then there's like undertones of how they feel about it. I don't know, I just really like what they say when they're riled up. Like when they're passionate about something, I just really like Tauruses who are passionate, and it's really like, I don't even know what I'm saying. When they are like passionate about something, they really will put all of their like self into it, and I think that's really admirable, and that's probably why they have such a strong work ethic. So I pre-recorded a video about like a week ago, and I forgot Gemini, so I have to go back and I have to do the pros and cons for Gemini. So I'm sorry about that. I forgot, you guys. It was really busy for me last week, but I know that it's really important for me to be consistent in my videos, so I have to, my goal is to do every Wednesday and every Saturday or Sunday, but I jumped off the bandwagon last week, so I have to get back on. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, okay, so Gemini. A Gemini pro is that they are extremely, like exciting to be around, extremely creative. They kind of run the show. They always have a lot to say about something. Their opinion is always really interesting, and they are ruled by Mercury, so they are more, in my opinion, like the extroverted version of a Virgo. They are extremely analytical, but they're more playful about it. They're more willing to laugh at themselves and at everything around them. They don't really take life as seriously as like their Virgo counterpart. So yeah, but that's it's really fun to be around. They always have something really interesting to bring to the table. And then a con, because they're ruled by Mercury, they're always on to the next big thing. Their mind moves at like a billion light years a minute, so by the time that they've figured out something or like got excited about something, just as easily as they get excited, they lose interest, and by the time that everyone else is excited about it, they're on to the next thing, and they're that way with people too. So, okay. Cancer. So Cancer con, they can be kind of non-confrontational, and then end up channeling that in like really passive aggressive or unhealthy ways, like bottling things up or like combusting, and they can kind of unleash like months of fury that they've been holding in for so long that it like really shocks everyone, and it's also just not healthy. I mean, yeah, of course they can like become martyrs or victimize themselves, but I think this is how I discuss cons. I start like defending each sign because I don't know how to do this. I know why they do this. It's because they've been holding things in for so long that by the time that they actually like express their emotions, it's so full throttle and dramatic that people are like, oh my god, what's wrong? But it's really just the fact that they have been holding it in for so long. But anyways, I'm getting off track. That's my con, which I've talked myself out of now. I suck. And then pros for Cancer, they are they have the best advice, and they're extremely funny. I don't want to say like, oh, they're so nurturing, they're the mom, because everyone says that, and I just think that we're kind of reaching a point where everything is so repetitive in astrology and stale that it's really good to shake things up and not talk about the same things over and over again. So Cancers are extremely funny. They always have like this weird sense of humor, and they're really unafraid to just be themselves or just speak their mind. When they also like know advice or know like something to help you in any situation. It's literally like a walking Pinterest, and that's so cool. Like, I love Pinterest. So yeah, what's next? Leo? Ooh, okay. So Leo con, extremely defensive, and sometimes they will shut out everything around them and just do what they want. They have like a one-track mind at times, and when they like are set on something, like nothing around them matters. Like people speaking to them doesn't matter, and they can just be really like focused on that, and I think that's why they get that rep for being self-absorbed, and also just like extremely defensive. Like they choose not to listen to anything unless it's like something about themselves, Like if it's like, say someone's talking to them about, you know, dressing a certain way or doing something a certain way, and like they're just ignoring it and they're just like doing whatever they want to do, but then the minute that like that person like is like, oh, so you're wearing that, like they'll just get like extremely defensive. And I just think the way that they receive information sometimes is a little bit harsh. They have to be more careful about the way that they navigate, because like if everything that someone says to them makes them defensive, I feel like it just makes everyone else defensive, and then they create this like inharmonious sense of, I don't know, you know what I mean, words, what are they? So yeah, I just feel that they need to chill out. And also they have a hard time just listening. Like they need to listen more. They are so stuck in their ways that you can't really convince them to do anything if they don't want to do it, and they have to become more open-minded. I think when you have an open-minded Leo, honestly, like that person is usually always like the best person ever to be around. But when you have your standard undeveloped, like closed-minded, standoffish Leo, like no one wants to be around you. And then pro for Leo, Leo can see the positive in any situation, and they can be the best advocates. If they care about something or they like you, like they will literally make you feel like you're $100 billion. They always have like something so uplifting to bring, and everything is just kind of go with the flow in a sense. Like they're stuck in their ways, but they're also very mellow about things, and I don't think that's mentioned a lot. They can be extremely laid back. Like if someone comes to them with a problem, they're just like, don't worry about it, it's fine, it's fine, let's hide the body together, you know what I mean? Like they're just really supportive. So yeah. And then Virgo con, I'm trying to like not be stereotypical here, but Virgos are extremely sarcastic, and they have this really elitist mentality where they like want to assert the fact that they know so much more than you, and I don't even think they realize that they do this, but they can like come into any social situation and just automatically be so like okay, and it's just like, ugh, like okay, like calm down, like okay, encyclopedia, like I get it, you read a book once. No, I'm just saying. So yeah, that's like my only thing that I've noticed time and time again with every Virgo that I've encountered. I can literally tell a Virgo is in the room by like the nasally voice, the like know-it-all voice, you know, like the like really okay. Like anytime I hear like someone trying to make someone else question everything that they like do or stand for, or like them breathing, like anytime like I hear someone like just trying to assert their knowledge forcefully, I'm like, oh, it's a Virgo, and I'm usually right. But yeah, so that's the con. And then for a pro, Virgos are actually, in my opinion, I feel like they're the best people to be around. They're like the mom of the Zodiac, but they try not to be. They try to act like they don't care, but then like they typically do care. They just don't want to be caught caring. And then they're also just, they are really like peaceful and calming to be around, but they will still make you get your life together, and they'll like have everything put together in their life. And even if it's not put together in their life, it looks like it is, even if it's like complete chaos. And I just think the way that they carry themselves and the way that they can like go through situations with a grace, I guess, a sense of grace, is really admirable. And yeah. Libra. A Libra con. So a Libra con is their sense of, they are also passive aggressive in a way. Like they have this tendency to just sweep things under the rug, but then like it eats away at them and it becomes very visible to everyone around them. Like if something is bothering them, they try to act like they don't care, but their whole mood changes, and then they just have these really like petty ways of handling things, instead of just being upfront and honest. Like I'm an Aries rising with a Sagittarius moon and a Leo sun, so literally anytime I have a problem, I'm just like, hey, let's talk about it. But for most Libra placements, they don't want to talk about it. And that's really frustrating because I feel like you're just gonna hurt yourself by being that bothered about something that you don't want to talk about. So that's my only like real Libra con. And then Libra pro, I guess, is they can make you feel like really supported, and they can also just be extremely fun to be around, and like they just always have like something really cool to do with you, and they're always enthusiastic to be around you, even if they're doing something like dumb. Like they could just be in the car riding around with you and they'll just be so like excited and mellow, and just like the vibe that they give off is really cool. And you can easily have fun with a Libra doing absolutely nothing and be as entertained as you would if you were doing something like expensive or, I don't know, exciting, like going to an amusement park. Libras make you feel like you're at an amusement park when you're not. So that's a pro. Scorpio. So Scorpio con. Ooh. So Scorpios have a tendency to kind of brag and show off, and they want to be the center of attention, but they don't want to be at the same time. And I think that's maybe that's like a struggle for them, because it's like they want attention and they know that they deserve it. Like they're extremely confident. They know that they're great, but they don't want to be like, oh, look at me. So they'll do it in like very introspective or like subtle ways. They'll do it in subtle ways where it's just kind of like the conversation will like maybe always lead back to them or back to their interests, or they have a lot to say about things that they control the conversation, I guess. They like, and it's always shifting back to something that solely centers around how they can brag about themselves, or like brag about their criteria or their knowledge, or it can just become like a conversation where you're just like sitting there and like, I mean, it'll be entertaining, like you'll want to like compliment them, and you probably will, but like at the same time you're just kind of like, like, is this an interview? Like, are you giving me your resume? So yeah, that's that. And then a Scorpio pro is, they are so interesting. This is so like counterproductive to what I just said, but they are so interesting. Like they're literally, whenever you hear them talk, they have such an animated way of speaking. Like I had a coworker that was a Scorpio, and she would just talk about random things that didn't even, like, I would probably have the same conversation with someone else and be bored within 2 seconds. I have a Gemini Mars, so like my attention span is this short, and she could literally, ooh, that was a weird noise. She could literally make a conversation stretch for hours, and I wouldn't even realize time went by so fast. They're so interesting to be around, and they're so self-assured in a way. They don't like to show anyone that they're insecure, and so when you have like a friend that's a Scorpio and they're like backing you up or they're giving you advice, like it's so such a like extreme level of confidence for you. Like it's a good confidence booster because they know exactly what to say, and they have such a way to sell to you like their entire being or their entire perspective that it's believable. Even if it isn't, it's believable. Like whatever they are selling, you want to buy into, and that's just a really admirable quality, I feel like. And I don't really feel like many other signs have that strong presence. So yeah. And then Sagittarius. So Sagittarius placements or people, a con is that they are extremely defensive like Leo, but also extremely sarcastic, and they kind of shoot sarcasm out of their mouths like as easily as they breathe, and that's fine. Like sarcasm is great, like I don't mind that, but it's like when they start to make little jabs or chip away at you, or they could be completely serious and kind of try to like give you a constructive criticism, because I feel like a lot of Sagittarius people are so brutally honest. They feel like they're doing people a service to share everything that they think of, even if It's not always something that should be said out loud. They feel like just because it's honest that it should be said, and that's not always the case. So I feel like their biggest issue is they'll say something rude or offensive in the name of honesty, and if you say anything back, whether it's sarcasm, whether it's playful, whether it's a joke, or even serious, they will shut down and then just turn into like little monsters and just act really confused by you, or even like victimize themselves, or just they can dish it but they can't take it. That's my biggest issue with them. And then pros, they are, I know everyone says this, but they are literally the best person for pep talks. They will give you the best pep talks, and they're so just laid back and accepting of all walks of life. They're not like closed-minded people. I've never really met a Sagittarius placement or a person that is closed-minded. They're extremely open-minded, extremely accepting, and they just have this way of like anything that you do or say to them doesn't shock them. They're okay with it. Like they just accept your quirks and like your weird attributes. They even like encourage and like this about you, and that's such a nice thing, because like how great is it to be around people where you feel just completely accepted. So that's Capricorn. It's Capricorn, right? Yeah, it's so Capricorn Capricorn con, I'm lying. Capricorn con is they kind of have the arrogance of a Leo, but they have like the intellectual superiority of a Virgo, in the sense that they carry themselves in a way that kind of makes everyone else in the room feel like, I'm judging you, I'm doing my life the right way, everyone else is doing it the wrong way. And even if that's not the case, even if that's not even like what they're intending, or if they even realize it or not, it can become problematic, especially for people who are more insecure like Leo, or you know, what have you. And so I feel like this can be an issue at times, because they do feel like, because they're typically more disciplined, they're ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is the planet of where we need to grow up pretty much. So governed by that, I guess, law, or that planet would make you extremely kind of focused on getting your life together and having everything together. So like when you look around and you're working so hard on yourself and no one else is, I get how that could be a thing, but at the same time, like it can be really difficult, because it's not always comfortable to be around people who just feel like they are always judging you. And most of the time, like a lot of the Capricorns I've met like aren't always like as put together as they kind of judge you for not being, and so that's that. And then a Capricorn pro is they're actually extremely loyal. They're probably the most loyal sign if they care. If they're in it with you, they're in it. Like they will not go anywhere. The only time they'll honestly just like leave you and just abandon you is if you mess up monumentally. Like if they don't play games and they don't waste time. So if you're gonna waste time, or if you're gonna like screw up or just do anything like that, like they're just not gonna be, they're gonna be like, all right, that's fine, but then they'll just like leave. So that's a pro, I feel, because like they're so loyal and they're so honest and fair about things. Like they don't do things that they feel are based off of solely emotional reaction. They try to be as logical as possible, and that's really cool, because the best people that you want to seek out for advice are Capricorns. And then Aquarius con. So Aquarius kind of have a god complex. They want to save humanity, but they don't want to feel anything about it. They don't want to feel any way about it. They want to feel nothing at all, but they want to make sure everyone else feels enough to fight the good fight and be a part of a big cause. But when it comes to like interpersonal relationships, they don't have emotions. And I mean, they do, but we'll get into that later. That's just from a thinly veiled like first impressions layer. That's how they come off. Now I know that they're a lot deeper than that. I know that technically they have emotions. They just push people away because they're scared of getting hurt, but we're not gonna get into that right now. And yeah, so they have a way of judging situations, or kind of their biggest chip on their shoulder is being unique and standing out, and that's fine, but they project that so harshly in every single situation that they're in that it becomes such. They have kind of a god complex, and they can project their need to be unique and individual so forcefully onto situations where like they're always like watching their back. They're always like, don't copy me, don't copy me. Hey, but you're not copying me, right? Like, and it's just annoying to be around at times, because like I get that their thing is bringing newness and creativity into situations, but not everyone cares as much as them about that. And so when they are constantly like carrying this big chip on their shoulder and they're trying to exert their ego through that, it can be draining to be around, because Aquariuses aren't always that great, but they will literally just act like they are, and they're kind of condescending and self-centered, and yeah, so that's my con. And then my pro is I really like Aquarius people. They are, am I convincing? I really like Aquarius people. No, but Aquarius people are extremely funny. They're like the funniest. I feel like if there were comedians that were Aquariuses and I knew they were Aquarius, I would just watch them because of that alone, because like I know for a fact they will always have some humor or some spin on things. They are ruled by Uranus, so they are always saying things in a new way or a new outlet that you wouldn't even think of, and I really enjoy their concepts and their ideas because of this. Like, they appreciate even the smallest things in life, and I think one thing you can't really tell in Aquarius is that they're materialistic or that they're shallow, because they can literally enjoy just like fresh air, just taking a walk. They can find like beauty in everything, and that is my Aquarius pro. Pisces con. Okay, so on one hand, what you give is what you get with Pisces, but like if you give them like a small little pebble of a problem, they will make it a monumental anthill of a problem, and then they will drown you in it. So they will just kind of take things to degrees or levels that they don't need to be at, and they're so emotional in the way that they navigate life, even if they act like they aren't, that it really just shows through in everything that they do, and sometimes that can be a bad thing. And then Aquarius or Pisces pro is that they're extremely just sensitive and nurturing to be around, and they can always look for like something nice or something. They can always look for like the good in things and sometimes be blinded by that, but they can always look for what's positive and what's good and be really encouraging of you for what's positive in your life, and also just really really calming, really peaceful people. They're just really like kind of a serene vibe around Pisces, ruled by Neptune, so they're dreamy. So that completes this video. If you liked this video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.